All right, so if you're buying a home here in Southeastern Massachusetts, you know there's this one moment that's both super exciting and honestly a little terrifying, and that's the negotiation. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that whole process and show you exactly how to handle it like a pro. Okay, picture this. You found the perfect house, you put in your best offer, and they accepted. It's just an amazing feeling, right? You're on top of the world. But here's the thing you gotta realize. This is where the real work actually starts. It's time to shift gears from that pure excitement to some smart strategy. So what does that real work even look like? Well, it's kind of like this delicate dance. All of a sudden, you're trying to balance the price, what repairs are needed, the closing date. And you're doing it all with a seller who, has their own set of goals. It can definitely feel like you're juggling a lot at once. And this is where we have to make a really important mindset shift. So many people think of negotiation as this big battle, right? Like a zero-sum game where for you to win, somebody else has to lose. But that's not what this is about at all. The goal isn't to crush the other side. It's to skillfully put together a deal that protects your money and, just as important, gives you peace of mind in your new home. To do that, you need the right tools. And the good news is, as a buyer, you have some incredibly powerful ones ready to go. So let's open up that toolkit and see what's inside. At its core, it really boils down to three main levers you can pull in any real estate deal. You've got the price, you've got the repairs, and you've got the closing costs. Every single one of these directly hits your bottom line, and knowing how to use them together, well, that's the key to getting the best possible deal for yourself. And here is the secret sauce. Almost everyone gets completely fixated on just the sale price. But the savviest buyers, they look at the entire financial picture. A seller might not be willing to budge an inch on price, but they could be totally open to making concessions somewhere else that'll save you thousands. Let's make this super clear with an example. A price drop, yeah, it feels great, but it might only lower your monthly mortgage by a little bit. A seller credit, on the other hand, that puts actual cold hard cash back in your pocket at closing. We're talking money for movers, new appliances, or getting a start on those day one projects. And check this out. Here's a little local insight. Sellers in towns like Taunton or Middleboro often actually prefer giving credits. Why? Because it helps you out financially without lowering the official sale price on paper. Now, this brings us to what is, without a doubt, your single most powerful negotiation tool, and that is the home inspection. And listen, this isn't just some box you have to check. It is a massive source of leverage for you. When that inspection report shows up in your email, it is not a list for you to go nitpick every single paint chip and scuff mark. Nope. It's a professional assessment that's designed to protect you from huge, expensive surprises down the road. If that inspector finds real structural problems, safety issues, or major systems like the furnace or roof on their last legs, you have every right to bring that back to the seller. In fact, they are absolutely expecting you to. Okay, theory is great and all, but let's see how this plays out in the real world. I want to break down a recent success story from a buyer right here in Brockton, because it shows this whole process in action perfectly. So on the surface, this house looked amazing, but the inspection uncovered a couple of important things. Some electrical issues that hadn't been addressed, and a section of guttering that was pretty clearly failing. Now, neither of these is a total deal breaker, but they also aren't cheap fixes. So what did the buyer do? Well, first, they didn't panic. They just used the report as the practical tool that it is. Second, since they knew the seller was pretty firm on the price, they got creative. They asked the seller to get the electrical work fixed before closing and to provide a credit so they could handle the gutter work themselves. And third, the seller said yes. It was a perfect win-win. Everybody was happy, and the deal kept moving forward without a hitch. And the bottom line here, the result of all that? That smart, creative strategy saved the buyer over $4,000. That is the real, tangible power we're talking about. It's not about arguing, it's about solving problems together. So all of this really leads to the main thing I want you to walk away with. You should feel empowered to negotiate, not anxious. This is a normal and frankly an absolutely necessary part of buying a home. Let me be perfectly clear about this. When you negotiate based on the facts from a professional inspection report, you are not being difficult. You're not being demanding. You are being a smart buyer, and you're protecting your budget and your future home. It's that simple.
And that brings us right back to where we started. When you handle it with strategy and clear communication, negotiation isn't some ugly fight. It's an art, and it's an art that leads to a great result for everyone involved.
So as we wrap up, just remember, buying a home is likely the biggest financial decision you are ever going to make. So the real question isn't if you should negotiate. The real question is, are you ready to use these tools to protect that investment? Now you are. You've got the tools to do it with confidence. Thanks for joining me.